ihr trinkt alle einen guten Kaffee. Vielleicht habt ihr aber auch Lust und Laune, in der Open Stage Arena vorbeizukommen und euren Kaffee hier zu genießen und gleichzeitig etwas Spannendes Neues zu erfahren, und zwar über eine neue Technologie bei Röstmaschinen von einer italienischen Firma, italienischen Familienfirma, die euch jetzt Brian Di Santo präsentieren wird. Viel Spaß und Freude damit.
Thank you all, guys. I'm really glad to be here today with you at Vienna Coffee Festival. It's the third day and things are still great. Everybody is enjoying the festival. Everybody is enjoying the connection of people that this festival led us. So let's begin. Today we're going to talk about induction system applied to the roasting process. And I will start to talk with you about the history of the company I'm representing. The company is called Sweet Coffee Italia. We're based in Torino, in the northwest of Italy, and it started a long time ago, precisely in 1947. After the war, my grandfather, Domenico, he emigrates to Brazil because his family was very poor. And after the World War II, I mean, everybody, Italy lost, so everybody just, tried to run away. He had this luck because his sister and his brother-in-law, they already were in Brazil, so he just decided to get there, and he experienced a lot of researches, and then starting to study about the differences between the beans and the qualities and the characteristics. So after 20 years, he decided to came back to Italy, and the point is, he started to transmit his passion for coffee to my father, Mario Di Santo, which then decided to open his own coffee roastery that he managed in Torino for 25 years. But then it was just the first step of what Sweet Coffee Italia then became. This is Gemma, which was the first product of our ranch. It has 17 years old, so it's basically an electric roaster. It works with 3 heaters, and it's the point is we try to keep the design and the aesthetic in what we developed many years later. But it just to get you a little bit into what Sweet Coffee Italia represents. Then, as I said, after 17 years in the coffee roasting market, my father, precisely Sweet Coffee Italia, encountered another big leading company, a world leading company, specific in the fields of blanking and thermo induction. And he met this person, which is called Gregorio Mirella, and he's the technical project manager of what then Sweet Coffee Italia became. So the process of developing a new range of products that would involve the electricity, but from a different point of view, took us 4 years. The last 4 years we spent it in study, patents, with the purpose of reaching a real revolutionary technology about roasting coffee. But at the same time, being able to keeping and maintaining energy efficiency, and most of all, a high quality of final product. So these are just an idea of what our factory has produced in the past 4 years. For example, here we can see the chaff collector, the drum, the cylinder, all of things that I'm gonna talk you later, but it's just, you know, guys, to introduce what we do. And there is a CJEP in Rimini. Here is NRA in Chicago, which are two exhibitions in which we've been in the past years, presenting the induction process applied to roasting. So then, of course, our company in the past 70 years spent time, and we realized that all over the world we'd be able to, you know, sell our machine, and most of them try to introduce some franchises. So, for example, in Australia, there's this brand called Rostart. In United Kingdom, there's this other brand called Eurost, and all of them, they're using our first product. But then something happened. Something just changed because we decided to, you know, uh, find a valuable alternative to traditional system of roasting. What does it mean? By traditional system of roasting, most of all, we talk about gas roasters. Uh, Gas roasters has this huge power in terms of heating. So electricity, just heaters, couldn't compare with gas because for physics, you can have that amount of energy. So then they decided to introduce the idea of the induction all around the rotating drum. Precisely that. As I as I told you before, from the photos you've seen, you can imagine that there's this magnetic cylinder, and inside of this, you have to imagine the rotating drum. What happens? That all around the cylinder, there's a coil, you know, placed all around. And utilizing this kind of process, we guarantee you an efficiency in terms of energy efficiency that nobody like right now, could could do. So this is a really simple example. I mean, in a sort of way, it's also stupid, but it's just guide to introduce you to the differences between what is called traditional and what we think could be the future of roasting. So we can start seeing two different ways of boiling water. What's the most differences? Here we got the water boiling, exploiting the gas power. What happens? Yeah, in both of the system, what we reach is have boiled water, but which one of them will, you know, take long time to do it? Of course, it will be gas, because as a matter of fact, for physics, when you try to get gas to another corpse, the thing that happen is that it's gonna be dissipation into air. So you're not gonna exploit all of the energy you're trying to get to boil the water. And then there's just an induction plate with his induction coil, the power supply, and the creation of a magnetic field, thanks to the help of the coil. And thanks to that, we reach the same exact result in a shorter amount of time. And most of all of the energy that we want to use is not going to be wasted. So now, before I introduce you how we decided to build our range of new roaster, which, by the way, start from the 2 kilograms per cycle to the 8 kilograms, passing then to the 30 kilograms that we're going to launch at the host in Milano. But the idea is to be capable of using this kind of system not just for small roasters, medium-sized roasters, but then maybe also have the possibility to get them into implant. And if you know what I mean, having that kind of efficiency into a huge implant could be very useful, not just in terms of savings of money because you're exploiting all of your energy, but the point is also you're choosing a green solution. Anyway, the induction applied to coffee roasting. The induction easy heating is achieved through this coil, okay? I will show you a photo. This is the coil, okay, guys? So imagine that the coil is placed all around this magnetic cylinder. And inside the cylinder, we decided to put the drum, the rotating drum. So what happened when you try to roast coffee? That basically each of the beans will be hit by 3 different sources of heating with an accuracy in terms of temperature about plus or minus 0.5 degrees. So this is very important, especially for professional roaster, because having that kind of control of the temperature let you the possibility of deciding for real how the coffee, in your opinion, is ready. You want to drop it. So I told you that our proposed solution it's the coffee in 3 different ways. So we have conduction, convection, and radiation. And thanks to the conduction, the idea is that we transfer the heat or electric current from one substance, I mean the heater substance, to another by direct contact. So the conduction happens, imagine that you have the coil, there's the cylinder, from the cylinder, because the cylinder is almost touching the drum, it's gonna pass the heat to the drum and then to the beans. So we have conduction. Then we have convection. Convection is the transfer of heat through a fluid, a liquid, or a gas, in our case, caused by molecular motion. So it means that inside the drum, we are heating the air. So the air is gonna heat also the beans. And with this way, we have the 2 ways, but then we're not gonna stop it because, we don't agree. We want the full pack. So there's radiation too. And radiation, it's very simple actually. It's like imagining that you are on the beach and you're taking the sun. So that's radiation from a heater part. In our case is the coil, or more exactly, the magnetic cylinder. The energy will be spread, transmitted in the form of rays or waves directly to the beans. With these 3 forms of heating, we get a product, a final product, which is very homogeneous. And most of all, one of the important points is that these 3 forms of heating, all of them together, let us the possibility of eliminating losses. So this is how we decided to create the energy efficiency that I was talking about to you guys. So we talk about how the roaster works, and the 2 kilograms, the 8 kilograms, the 30 kilograms, and the 60, and then 120, they will work all with the same system, because our idea is to create a new process, a new way of roasting, and then transmit it at the same time in the same way to every roaster of our range. Then I want to talk to you. I have to be brief, guys, because we're short of time, but I want to talk to you about the roasting cost reduction. What does it mean? That if you have, imagine that you have all of that efficiency into roasting, what happened? That you're not gonna waste anything. So by not wasting anything, for example, here I'm talking about the 8 kilogram induction Gemma, which by the way, it's over there at the booth. So if anybody wanna talk about it, after I'm gonna be there. We talk about an absorption consumption of 1.7 kilowatt per cycle. This what does it mean? That in 1 hour, you can roast, for example, 32 kilograms of coffee, consuming 6.5 kilowatts in just 1 hour. I think that if someone has knowledge into roasting, this kind of data is not so, it's not something easy. It's something very important. And let us the idea to really won't get into the electric roaster world. But then this, in my honest opinion, is the most important information that I really want that you guys understand, that roasting in this way let us the possibility of producing 1 kilograms of coffee beans roasted at the price of 0.04 cents. So something to think about it. And we talk about the reduction costs in terms of roasting process, but then there's also another speech that I want to talk to you, because electricity, not just only induction roaster, but electricity in all this way, let us the possibility of no need, for example, of CFPS, so the Certified Fire Protection Specialist, which all of the roasters, the one that use maybe traditional roaster, they know it's a huge cost. So it's not just a matter of you invest in a good roaster, but then there will be also a lot of expenses all around. And then, for example, since there isn't a burner, because our coffee is just heated, we don't have a burner, so you won't have fasting and maintaining costs derivating by a burner. And then last point, it's very important in my honest opinion, because for example in Italy things right now are shifting into that way, but it's not just Italy, it's a global thing. There's this regulation and building codes, that starting to favor in a sort of way the heat sources in appliances. So I mean, for example, you want to install your roasters. For example, in Italy, you reach a precise amount of investment, and the government could favor to you, lend to you some money, just because your idea is compatible with the new guidelines of the state in which you're living. So I think it's very important, and it represents that this is the future. This is the way in which the globe is shifting. Then, here, I put just this simple picture in order to show you that having an electric roasters, having an induction electric roasters like ours, means having just a plug, and then half of your job is done, because you need a pipe or maybe a filter to roast, but the work is done. So comparing, these two roasting way, everybody of you is gonna think about it. Last but not least, I want to spend time on talking about the vision that especially my father decided to create with Sweet Coffee Italia. So 17 years ago, he decided to starting to roast with electric. He were before a roaster, but he used a gas roaster. So he said, no, I want to create something new, something that really everybody could use and could be, in a certain way also sustainable, because we have to be honest with us. And guys, it's not a correct solution if we want to talk about being sustainable, roasting in the right way, because otherwise the speech is going to be, okay, you're, for example, a roaster guy, you have your home full packaging, for example, and all of it's renewable. So yeah, it's very cool. But then you're roasting and polluting. So I mean, you have to find the right way, to propose yourself, propose your idea, but most of all, propose your vision. And that's why the whole Gemma was developed in something new, something that could also stay sustainable. And I'm really glad to be here today to talk to you about this, because I really care about what is happening right now all around the world. So choosing a solution like this lets you the possibility of, for example, not having a contamination of coffee, very low emissions of CO. We are talking about CO, guys, not CO2, since there isn't any kind of burning. And then there isn't the absence of nitrogen oxide. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but nitrogen oxide is something very, very bad. Not just for coffee, for the air, for the pollution. So these substances are harmful gases, okay? And they are all released during the combustion of fossil fuels. I think I said almost all to you guys. I hope that you are enjoying this conversation between me and you. And if by any chance some of you has a question, a doubt, you want some clarification, I'm here. Otherwise, I really hope that you're gonna have a good day here. You're gonna enjoy your time, because Vienna Coffee Festival is a great experience. So I really recommend you to come here the next year. Thank you all.